All right, we're here. We're set and ready to roll here for the next matchup. We got Fort Erie taking on iSchool here in this one. Fort Erie, the higher seed in this bracket. Play 1:30 start time. It's this one. Welcome on in. AJ Martin, Cullen Crowder alongside of me as we get ready to roll here. Fort Erie, they've been playing well for most of the season. We saw a little bit of dip in their play in Champaign, and they kind of struggled a little bit, a bumpy road coming into postseason play. But listen, they won a championship last week in another league. They look to take care of business here in this one. What is it going to take for Fort Erie to come out here on top against iSchool?
Yeah, it's a 4-13 matchup. Power conference record for Fort Erie's 9-5. For the iSchool, it's 4-10. They have had a head-to-head matchup this season, which Fort Erie won 74-61. So, you know, the seedings are what they are. We expect Fort Erie in this game, but iSchool has a lot of talent to match up with. They've got Keontae Graybear, who is a dynamic scorer at 20 points a game, 19.9 to be exact. Baker in the backcourt with him. They've got some talent, and I think it could be a very interesting matchup here.
Hey, I had an opportunity pregame to catch up with these coaches. Let's first send it over with Fort Erie's coach and his thoughts on what he thought about preparing for this game, what winning a world championship on the grind session would mean to him and his Fort Erie program. And maybe we won't cut to that. We'll keep it right here. As we
man, I had good eye
contact. I know, I was ready to roll too.
Man,
iSchool though, we saw early in the year for them in Toronto where it was a little bit of a struggle. I was kind of unsure about this group. I'm not going to lie. And then they added some pieces, and it seems to be clicking and kind of leading the way. Johnson in the backcourt.
Yeah, talk about an efficient player. Johnson is one of the top. I think he's top 10 in efficiency in the league. He's been very impressive, and a kid that just adds that backcourt depth for iSchool.
All right, we'll get ready to tip this one off. Fort Erie will be the home school, or the home team here in this ball game. The visitors will be iSchool. We'll send it over to our PA announcer for the introduction of our starting lineup.
A 6'3" senior, number 2, Keontae Graybear. A 6'3" junior, number 4, Quincy Baker. A 6' junior, number 5, Caden Johnson. A 6'9" senior, number 10, Mike Banks. And a 6'7" senior, number 13, Terrence Burridge. And now for the home team on the scoreboard, Fort Erie, a 6'2" senior, number 1, Promise Landu. A 6'6" senior, Ali Jolene. A 6'8" junior, number 11, Dane Ngor. And a 6'4" senior, number 14, Anthony Ponga. A 6'11" senior, number 16, Crew Guard.
All right, those are our lineups introduction, and here we go. We got Fort Erie International, the Falcons, getting set to do battle. This is their 5th year here on the grind session. They were runner-ups to Prolific just a year ago. They had an amazing journey, too, last year, knocking off Utah Prep and A.J. DeBonta to go up against Prolific in that championship game and fell short there in the finals, and they'll look to redeem themselves. And iSchool, their first year here on the grind session, looking to make a little bit of noise coming from Texas in this one. So experience versus just getting our feet wet.
Yeah. And, you know, that's a big thing, obviously, at this time of year is experience. And, you know, Fort Erie led by their guard play with Promise and Landu and Ali Jolene. And, you know, if you would have told us last year, I mean, when you think about it, AJ, and again, I dig into efficiency numbers more so than anything, but if you'd have told us last year we're going to get a quick
jump.
bucket
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you'd have told us last year that Jolene would be a top 15 player in our league, you know, I'm not sure we would have believed it. But he is. He has played his way into that type of role for Fort Erie, and his numbers speak for themselves. Statistically, a top 15 player.
Shot clock is down to 7 here for the first possession for the Falcons. Promise. And Landu, straight left-hand drive and a finish there.
And Landu is the straw that stirs the drink. I mean, he's the conductor, he's the point guard. Everything runs through him.
Little dribble drive action here for iSchool. Gray Bear knocks down a 3, so a really good start for them offensively.
And you see the energy from Gray Bear right off the bat. And I tell you what, he's been hot in the late part of the year. He is scoring it at a high rate again, around 20 points a game, 19.9 again to be exact on the season.
Nice shot fake there. We're going to get a foul on the floor here.
Yeah, and you got to respect the 3 of Ponga. At times throughout the year, shot at around 45% from 3. Not sure what it is at the end of the season. I'd have to go back and look at that, but kid can really shoot it.
Out of bounds, it'll stay with Fort Erie.
Box set here, baseline out.
Only 3 times has the 13th seed beat the 4 seed in our tournament.
2 minutes then. Out of bounds to iSchool.
Just all one-on-one there. That plays into Fort Erie's hands. Oh. Burry kind of with an awkward jump stop there, but no call, but it doesn't work out either. There you go. That's how you remove stagnant from your offense. What a punch there from Engor. And then Johnson right back. So no time to breathe here. Oh, I'm not sure that was meant for crew guard that time. That was a fastball from Engor.
Quick jump to the rim there. That won't go for Banks, and we'll come back the other way. Engor back to promise. Landu steps into 1. Yes, knocked down. It's out his ball game at 7.
You know, I think that's one of the most difficult threes, stepping into a 3 like that. As Gray Bear kind of stops me there, this kid is electric scoring the basketball. But I think those are in Landu's favorite, the ones that are stepping into it, catching it from from the inside. Great pass.
And pull from 3 and back-to-back 3s before Erie has them out in front, 10-0.
And that's just great ball movement from Fort Erie. It started with the pass from Landu, and then they were just connected after that with good ball movement.
Shot clock down to 2.
Man, even that one was close for Gray Bear.
Falcons doing a great job moving the rock right now. A good finish inside there by crew guard.
And that's huge for Fort Erie. Any points that you get from crew guard are bonus. He's not somebody they're going to go through as far as their offense. He's there to rebound and protect the rim.
And Johnson knocking that one down.
Again, Johnson, another one of those top 15 kids as far as an efficiency rating for the year. Oh.
There's Johnson. Double off pass, Baker, and we got some shots coming up.
That's a great pass and a great job by Johnson, tracking that rebound, chasing it down, and then you see the pocket pass. Player was fouled, had an assist opportunity, but Baker was fouled.
At the line for 2 is number 4, Quincy Baker.
So Baker with 2 shots. He makes his first trip to the line this afternoon. First one's good.
In the game for iSchool, number 24, Garrison Pitt.
And I think this is one of those games, too, as far as, you know, matchups make the fight. You know, styles make the fight. And I think that iSchool can score with Fort Erie. You know, that they don't have a lot of size to prevent them from scoring. Like, they can keep up in the scoring column.
The winner of this game will move on and advance to play at 10:30 on Sunday. And they'll play the winner of the DME Balboa game. That'll be tomorrow.
I think that's actually a good call. I saw it. He changed his pivot foot. And a Kuntak called for it. He didn't think so, but I agree with the call.
And we get an illegal screen there. We'll go back the other way.
You know, really credit Landu for that. He kind of plasters up to the ball handler right there and creates that contact. Wasn't much there, but he made it look like a foul.
Tim picks that one up. Eight seconds to go here on the shot clock. Kuntak.
Got to have a jump hook. That's a great move.
Good strong take there.
Yes, that is a great move. I wasn't sure he had the baseline there, but he makes the right move.
Kuntak, just a junior. His big brother was on this team, this national team, just a year ago. Johnson with the bump and the finish.
Huge. Kid's been solid all year long, and he's such a physical player with the basketball in his hands, defender as well.
And loose ball.
Looked like it could have been a foul on Purry. No call.
Johnson just like big boy status.
And a great job of meeting the pass that time. It got tipped on the way out, and he just meets it, initiates contact, and finishes. Again, he's got a great body, but if you look, he's got really long arms as well. So muscled up, but long arms as well.
And iSchool kind of taking the first punch here at Fort Erie. They're kind of the aggressors right now.
Great rebound.
Good no call. Promise.
When Promise is in a rhythm and in a groove, everything just looks effortless right there. That was a super deep three, and it was just a flick of the wrist. Like, it wasn't any effort to even get it there.
I'm not sure if iSchool could have played any better to this point. They only lead by 2. And that's poked away. Promise thought about the 3. He'll go instead. Good wall up by Johnson. That won't go. The follow offensive rebound to be with Fort Erie, and Johnson takes a shot. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him a little bit there.
Yeah, Coach Bryant's telling his guys, you know, look, Johnson's back there. He walls up at the rim, but nobody else is there, so they get an offensive rebound and an easy one. Got a gang rebound.
All tied at 19.
So Ponga had to take a seat. think Jolene checked in for him.
Mm-hmm. Johnson checked out as well.
Jolene yet to have a shot attempt.
It's because he ain't got that Mr. Miyagi Karate
No
Kid
headband.
headband on. Well, I need a headband. Where the headband at, my guy?
Ooh, look good. It's a great box out right there by Yumga. You know, he doesn't get called for that foul that we see a lot now, the hold on the box out, because he wasn't holding, just held his position, and Burry was out of bounds. Ooh, Jolene was there.
There earlier. Sharp corner post step, though.
Now, he makes these shots. He makes those.
Right on cue.
You know, when he turns to that shoulder, where he's moving to his left and shoot, you know, he shoots with his right, obviously. He is very consistent at that shot. Does anybody try harder than Ailey Jolene? I mean, that dude's effort and motor is relentless. And we've got several guys like that. But it's a joy to watch, man, when you got kids, they're just bought in. They're bought into the game. They can't help but play it the right way, and he's one of those.
Great point, Coach.
Here's that same cut, same play. Now, you notice they've switched Johnson onto him. Jolene doesn't want that post up. He doesn't want to, you know, not against Johnson. So good switch by iSchool. He's got to shoot it.
He will. And knocks it down.
Look good right out of his hand. He's tough. On a tough catch, which made him raise his hands above his head, he was able to get great balance on his shot still. That's not an easy thing to do if you think about it. You know, you can always think about shooting around with somebody and they're just feeding you bad passes and like, man, if you don't hit me in my shooting pocket, you know, because it makes you have to adjust. It throws off your timing, things of that nature.
Foul is on number 3. David Marusilas.
This is set up for McClinton, trying to get the freshman to look in the corner. Baker's going to have to pull.
Up against the shot clock, game clock, that comes up short.
It's just great defense.
24-19 for Erie. Listen, iSchool also a really good start, and Fort Erie just kept playing. They found themselves up by 5.
Fort Erie 10 of 14 at the end of 1. iSchool 7 of 13, so nothing to be ashamed about there.
All right, we'll send it over to Coach. What's your thoughts here on this first quarter?
All right, Keontae Johnson is absolutely cooking right now, and he's very good off the bounce. So when he starts making shots at an efficient rate out here, you've got to come out here and guard him. How I would constantly play him is if you guard him straight up, okay, if he's going left, he loves to get in that rhythm dribble to try to get you rocking to where he does a good job of reading what foot is up top. So he'll get you rocking and he'll try to get that rhythm dribble to left and get to the spot to pull up because his mid-range is really good. Now, if he's going right, 9 times out of 10, he's not shooting off the bounce. He's putting his head down and he's trying to put pressure on the rim. But what he does a good job of, he's a willing passer. So when he puts his head down and he finds that angle, he's finding guys. He distributing the basketball. Now, on the other end, Fort Erie's doing a good job on Gray Bear. They are man-drilling him. So what Keontae's got to do is, in my honest opinion, when kids get man-drilled, you got to become a screener. Because then you try to spend all this energy trying to get open, and by the time the fourth quarter comes, your legs are gone. So right now, he just needs to slip screen, go screen, become a screener to get everybody else open, and then what happens is then he gets to eat a little bit. Back to you guys at the grind session.
I think Coach meant Caden Johnson for that segment, and, you know, because Caden Johnson, 12 points, 5 of 6 from the field. And that's what he was talking about, his offensive game, is that they're going to have guys step up. He can't be the only guy to do it. And, you know, they do have, obviously, Gray Bear as the backcourt duo. But, again, you know, iSchool, very respectable. 7 of 13 from the field, or 3 of 4 from 3.
Good finish there. There's Baker into the front court here. They'll run Johnson off of Iverson cut. He tries to get downhill. And they'll shadow him baseline. He'll dump it off to Burry, and he'll get fouled with a chance to go shoot two.
And great movement without the basketball there from Burry. They were connected that time, and he was in the right spot. It's been all Caden Johnson, like we said. You know, he's got 12 of the 19 for iSchool, and they're running their offense through him, and he creates right there.
(26-20). It's a good matchup. There's going to be a lot of good matchups throughout this event.
Yeah, and I thought so too. It's like I said earlier, I think iSchool can score with them.
Good
Great
defense there.
Yes.
Shot clock down to 1. Those are backbreakers if you're the defender too.
Yes. Aaliyah Bukas with a big shot there at the buzzer of the shot clock.
And that's where you got to be mentally tough as a team too. Play really good defense, and sometimes the other team still scores.
They just make tough shots
That's
at
right.
times. I mean, that's just part of it.
Foul is on number 11, James Endor, at the line for
2 shots coming up here for Gray Bear.
And guys, iSchool has done a great job of making them make tough shots late in the shot clock. You know, it's just 40 Eries are making them right now, and there's nothing you can do. You got to continue just to grind at it and make them make tough shots late in the shot clock. So my message, if I'm coach from iSchool, hey, continue to do what we're doing. They're making tough shots, and it might not last.
Right now, Fort Erie, 12 of 16 from the floor. Incredible percentage. Oh, Johnson picks it.
Wow.
What a block.
Going up to contest it, but good follow there by iSchool, and Johnson loses his shoe in the process. And he said, I'll get that later.
You love the recovery from Jolene, but, yeah, it's a smart foul by Johnson, just taking one there. Man, I'd love to see that block again. He's skies to get that one.
in the game for Fort Erie.
But credit iSchool for following up.
Also in the game for Fort Erie, number 1, Promise in Landu.
There's Promise. Baker into the front court here for iSchool. Good flash at the nail. And Crew with that rebound.
I don't mind the shot. I know it may not have been the best shot selection, but Gray Bear can make those. And especially when you can make those, that's tough to guard. Now with somebody, I'm just kind of processing it here, but somebody with Gray Bear's quickness and explosiveness, you might want to see him try to get to the rim there. Had some space, but you don't mind the shot. The kid can score it from all over, 3-level scorer, super athletic. He's had a couple dunks this season where it just kind of sneaks up on you.
And we got a full timeout taken here by iSchool. Again, iSchool coming in here as a 13 seed here in this bracket play for Erie, number 4. And they had a head-to-head matchup you mentioned back in All-Star Weekend in L.A., where Fort Erie was victorious there in that one. Last time the 13 seed beat the number 4 seed, it was back in 2023. World Crown over Bella Vista, and then it happened actually back-to-back years, 22, Balboa, beats Colorado, and then AZ Compass over Tennessee Prep.
2019 AZ Compass. I wish
That's
I could
the beginning.
remember.
That's the beginning.
Yeah.
I was Walker. Walker was on that team. Who else was on that team? I've slept since then. And then the following year was Tata.
Yeah.
Tata Washington and those guys. Deron Holmes was on 2020.
Oh, yeah. That is a dude that I won't say unforgotten.
He's had a great college career.
But he's at the pros.
Yep, that's right.
I mean, he was a pro.
Yep.
That was a great team.
Went to he ended up going Dayton.
Dayton, yeah.
Yeah.
Started off at Dayton. Deron Holmes, yeah. He was very good.
How about this Fort Erie program? They had Leonard Miller. I still think he's going to end up being a special NBA player when it's all said and done. Kind of give me Lamar Odom vibes.
Oh, I loved him. Great take there by Engor. Just kind of exploding to the rim. Doesn't get the dunk, but a nice athletic take. This kid's really talented, man. Just a junior. They've got him as the number one junior in the class, or number one player in the class in Canada. So I mean, this kid is super talented. And I think you'll see it next year as well. You know, they lose Jolene, they lose Inlandu, of course. I think you'll see Engor step into that number one role as far as number one option offensively. He's got that ability.
Here's Burry going baseline, and that'd be a turnover. Back to Fort Erie here. That hammer pass did not work out.
That was actually really good defense right there. You know, guard just moving his feet right there and creates a bump, and Burry loses the ball.
Promise. Just being physical, getting to work. That rattles in and out.
Out of bounds, it'll stay with Fort Erie. In the game for Fort Erie is number 9, Pierre Charles Yinga.
LaFleur. Shot got to go up. And that'd be a shot clock violation.
Yep.
Shot clock violation, no go. Out of bounds, iSchool.
Great defense by iSchool when they needed to stop. Still a 2-possession game, obviously forever to play, but keeping it close. It's the right idea. Just good deflection by Fort Erie. Woo. Promise feels really comfortable right now. He's 3 or 4 from the field. He's made both of his threes. He's just in a rhythm. It just feels like his game. He's kind of controlling it from the point guard position.
Yeah, he has been putting pressure on the rim right from the jump, and this is what I've been wanting him to do. You know, start out the game, implement it, put pressure on the rim. It's going to open up everything else for everybody else.
And it's one of those you can tell, like the shot feels good. You can tell he feels good. Everything's in, you know, like everything's loose.
Fouls on number 24.
2 shots coming up here for Baker. In iSchool, the pace of this game's kind of slowed down a little bit, though, here in this quarter. Actually, the foul was not Baker's not the shooter. He plays for the other team, but
Jean-Marie.
Yep.
His first point.
Baker. There goes that 10 toes. That coach talks about it all the time. That's one of those ones, man, that drives you crazy too.
All it is repping it out. You got to know, you got to have court awareness, number one. But, AJ, we talk about 1-2 or 1 when you catch it on the catch to shoot. What we're talking about is some people are a 1 hop into their shot. Some people are a 1-2, and you see that with different NBA players. But you've got to have court awareness, and especially in that corner because the court gets smaller, so it's got to be a 1 into a hop shot. And that's where we're talking about Marte Barnes is so good. He has great court awareness, but it's not a 1-2, if that kind of makes sense for those at home.
Having great feet.
Mm-hmm. So I can tell you that sideline's undefeated.
Man, there was one year. I
that was this year.
When it was, but this is one of them.
Yeah.
But there was one year. It was like a epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
And Landu already with 10 points. You know, Grayberry, he keeps catching in those in-between spots at mid-range. He makes those, but, I mean, they are very difficult shots.
Burry. Good wall up there by Crew. Oh.
It's big.
Yep.
Because again, if you're iSchool, you don't necessarily count on a Tim getting you points. And so any points you get from him is a bonus. Especially in a close game, you know, now it cuts it to 7. You know, I was, again, listening to KSR on the way up here. But, you know, take games like for Kentucky in the tournament. I know I always refer to Kentucky, but Brandon Garrison makes 2 threes in a game yesterday.
Yep.
He had made 2 threes all year. You know, when that happens, that's when you see those teams win. You know, just
first of all, I'm impressed that you watched that game.
I didn't watch it. I did not watch it. I did not watch it.
I thought we was turning over a new leaf there for a minute.
Well, and that means the basketball gods were in Kentucky's corner. So just
I doubt they're in their corner right now. I haven't looked at the score, but I'm sure Florida's got the belt out.
I don't know if it's quite a belt yet, but it's a little spank. You know what I'm saying? A little something. Not too bad.
Man, great shot. Johnson, another kid who's just been in great control the entire way. Been playing at his speed. 16 now, 14 for Johnson.
3:17 to go here in this first half, 32-28. This is, again, a matchup between the number 4 seed and Fort Erie taking on iSchool at number 13 seed here in this one. They're in the bottom left-hand bracket, part of the bracket. This is the first game in that part of the bracket. The second game will be against DME Academy and Balboa. They'll play tomorrow at 6:45 to determine the next matchup there on Sunday. So that'll be a good one. Again, this Fort Erie team made it to the championship game just a year ago. A lot of these players were on that roster. His coaching staff was part of that run as well as they fell short to Prolific Prep. You guys mentioned A.J. DeBonta, how great he was last night. Peterson wasn't too bad last night as well on that awful court that they're playing on that they had to throw away.
I don't understand why people think that thing's a good thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when somebody dunks it, the whole arc on the inside looks like a glass shattered. That's a distraction. And then right as they were coming out of the timeouts, I don't know if you've seen it too, they had their shooting percentages on the floor from Erie. I'm like, if I'm a coach, I'm like, I don't want nobody seeing that.
Yeah. Well, we're referring to the court they used for the Big 12 Conference Championship. And What's crazy, guys have been slipping on. They've replaced it, so they took it out and replaced the floor today.
I was going to say, it's not even hardwood.
It was considered dangerous. Yeah, they say when people make explosive cuts, guys were slipping and they were fearing injury. So, and I just think nobody liked the court. So give Big 12 credit for saying, okay, our fault. Let's get rid of this thing. We'll just take the L.
I mean, what you think was going to happen? You put a plastic court, and I heard Fran Fraschilla, and he's actually been one of my favorites over the years, but he was talking about, well, it's not, it's not bothering AJ Debanza, but I guarantee you, if you do a survey on the coaches and the players, I bet you it's 70% or more would not want to play on that court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was totally shocked that that's even like it took you this long to figure out it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, you get something like that for an all-star game or something.
Man.
You know. Jolene, hey, that's knocked down a couple here in this ball game.
Don't mean to be going back on it, but it's like they're trying to take the old school version of basketball away. You know, when we think about basketball, it's on a wooden floor. We hear the sneakers. Like, it's like get away from all this AI stuff and just let us play basketball.
That's right.
It took a minute for Jolene to get going, but since he's made shots, now he's 3 for 3 from the field, made both of his threes. He got 8 points. The kid just continues to stay efficient. Again, like I said earlier, man, he has played himself and earned as a top 15 player in this league. And, I mean, that is, we talked about him last year. He was mainly just a shooter, and he has really added versatility to his game.
We're going to sub into the game here. Great Bear. Great Bear had an extended rest. Is he in foul trouble? I feel like maybe he was in foul trouble. Check those numbers here in just a second. Good pressure here by Jolene.
No, he just got one foul.
Okay. Some patience here by Fort Erie. Good slip.
Oh, I thought he was going to touch it, but it goes in anyway. Now, I was going to say before that shot was even taken, this is a big minute and a half. It was at 8, now it's at 10, obviously. If you're iSchool, you want to be low 10, no doubt. And anything above is going to be a problem.
And the 10-point lead, the largest thus far of the game. 1:33 to go here in this first half. Coming up at halftime, we'll hear from the coaches, get their thoughts on the first half of this one as these two teams do battle.
Cullen, your Cats are only down 10 now.
Oh, only 10. That's good.
Only 10.
That lets you know how the game was going.
Down 10 with 20 seconds to go.
He said only 10 now.
Well, 7 minutes to go.
Trust me, I know they don't have a chance. So don't worry about it.
But I will say this, you got to give flowers to Tall Golden. Remember how they struggled early in the year trying to get that chemistry going? I mean, they lost a lot. They played some smoke, though. Don't get me wrong. They played some really good teams, but took their lumps early, and what they win, like 17 out of 18 or something crazy? And, I mean, they've got that thing rolling down there.
Oh, he's great.
He's
great.
a very good basketball mind.
Right now, Fort Erie shooting 58% from the field.
Now, if I had to give a Coach of the Year award, both men and women's side, I'm not sure if there's anybody coaching better right now than Murray State women's coach.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Turner. I mean,
yeah, she's
these
great.
young ladies continue to win. I mean, they're on a tear right now.
Now, is women's, are they still OVC, or I guess they're MVC as well?
They're MVC as well.
Yeah. I guess that all changes when they when one changes.
Yeah.
I guess they both do. But
They've made the adjustment to the bigger conference a lot quicker than the guys. Kuntuk with that rebound. And again, I think that's because of the personality of the coach. We were just having a conversation about Coach Turner the other day that she she believes she can recruit right along with a UConn or South Carolina. That's just her mindset.
Yeah.
Here's Johnson into the front court.
You notice
the two there.
And you notice, guys, they're just getting out of his way now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shoulder you don't want to take. The kid is so physical, and he is playing outstanding in this first half. 16 points now for Johnson.
Graybear comes up limping there, so he takes that fall. Hopefully he's okay.
Check.
And Baker. And he'll get fouled there. He'll head to the line with a chance to shoot two.
Foul is on number 10, Kuntar.
Yeah, in my honest opinion, iSchool's got to get something out of Baker for that third scorer.
Yeah.
You know, Gray Bear's only got 6. Caden is absolutely cooking right now with 16. So if Quincy can get the double digits, not saying he's got to be a 20-point scorer, but him and Gray Bear both got to get to double digits for them to win this ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, with most teams, there's always guys that you're going to expect it from. That's a great play.
Yeah, that's catching a break right there, too.
How that ball even goes in.
Exactly.
Burry's that kind of guy, though. He can get in there, mix it up.
Undersized,
And if you're for Erie, those are the type of plays that'll be backbreakers down the road that you go back and think about. You got to get that rebound.
Yep.
You got to rebound with 2 hands. You got to pull that one down and chin it.
But to finish my point, as far as team structure, you've got guys that you're expecting points out of. And if you don't get it from those guys, more than likely you're not going to win. You know, and so it's kind of what Coach is talking about. They've got to have a balanced effort. Caden Johnson has been spectacular, but if they don't get it from Baker and Gray Bear, or at least one of them, then it's going to be an issue.
Getting a clock adjustment, we're going to put it at 30.5, I believe is where it's going to go. 38-32.
But this time of the year, guys, especially in these college games, isn't it amazing how you see what coaching just separates great coaching from just okay, good coaching? Because you've seen these teams multiple times. So some teams are throwing in some new wrinkles, maybe playing a little zone here and there, but it just amazes me that some of them just don't even change anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching Kansas last night. Priscilla talking about, and then Landu just gets a straight line drive there. But Priscilla talking about Bill Self being one of the best out of timeout designs, play designers. How they get a lot of scores out of timeout.
That's exactly the possession you're talking about. There was nice little slip backdoor action there. Ghost the screen. And
you got to try to steal some, though. I mean, you're getting scouted to a tee. You got to figure out how to steal a couple.
That's right.
Last possession here, promise. Handle in the rock here for Fort Erie. Oh, nice slip. Crew. And Burry picks up another foul there.
Great pass from Landu to set him up. You'd like to see guard just dunk that one. But the big man makes a free throw. It's big. Makes them both. Real big. That's huge.
And that'll do it for the half. 42-32 is our score. And Fort Erie off to a really good start here to start this game. And we're going to send it over to Richard. Richard here as he's with Coach. Richard, take it away.
All right, here with Coach Fort Erie. Promising Landu, my guy, Coach. I mean, he's cooking. To me, this is the best and most efficient he's played. Just like right there, you ran that little high ball screen. He made a good read, looked the guy off, and found his big. Just didn't convert there, but he's putting a lot of pressure on the rim right now, and this is what I think you've been talking about him.
Yes, I mean, Promise is our leader. We go as far as Promise takes us, and he's one of the best guards in the country and in Canada. In Canada, I want to let people know that he got snubbed. They got him second team. He's definitely first team All-Canadian.
Well, if he's second team, I want to see the other ones they got in front of him, Coach, because I'm right there with you.
They're not better than him.
Well, Coach, good luck to you second half. Back to you guys at the grind session.
When somebody asks, what is the grind session? It's everything. It's why we get up. It's why we travel. It's why we work out when we don't want to. That's what the grind session is all about. And if you're a player that feel like you're at that high level, the grind is about you. We want to challenge every player, every coach to be the best that they could possibly be. That's why we grind.
Welcome to the grind session, the ultimate proving ground for tomorrow's stars. In a world where talent meets opportunity, the grind session stands as the first elite winter high school basketball scholastic league where the brightest young athletes, both boys and girls, showcase their skills against the best of the best. Here, we set the stage for rising stars to transform into household names, igniting dreams of NBA greatness.
This area of Western Kentucky is where it all started, the history of the grind session. Let's think about it. Over 2,000 players going Division I. At the start of this NBA season, we had 61 players who were alumni of the grind session on the NBA roster. A few #1 draft picks.
With the first pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic select Paolo Banchero from Duke University.
And maybe we have the future #1 draft pick at 2026. If you don't know about the grind session, get to know us, because we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. It's the grind.
The grind session was born from a vision by Dan Hudson and Scott Waldrop in Western Kentucky, who saw a void in high school basketball. They recognized the need for a platform where elite talent could compete, where 4- and 5-star athletes could challenge one another, and where undiscovered 3-star athletes could prove they belong. And so, the grind session was created, a groundbreaking platform that live streams games, allowing college and pro scouts to connect with elite high school players from anywhere in the world. No longer do scouts have to travel extensively. Now they can watch the future stars of basketball unfold right before their eyes.
Playing on the grind session is competitive. It's my first season playing on the grind session. Every game is a good game. It's talent. Every team got talent. So you just gotta, you gotta bring every game.
Banchero fakes the three, steps back and fires the three. It's good.
Grind session is probably, one of the best tournaments and to have the best events in the country. The one thing I would say is the atmosphere, and the competitiveness. You can sense that out as soon as you walk in the gym. I just love that type of atmosphere. Anytime you can have that much talent in one gym, going against each other every night and competitive, is just remarkable.
With a collegiate-style travel schedule and the intensity of high-stakes competition, the grind session feels like a training camp for those who aspire to greatness. We are dedicated to thriving in the spotlight, but the journey to success is never easy for a young athlete. At the grind session, we're committed to guiding them through every challenge. From navigating the recruitment process to character development, we empower our athletes to safeguard their brand and manage their finances effectively. Our reach extends far beyond the court, capturing the attention of teams, leagues, fans, and agents across the globe.
The grind session is the best league in the country, and it's that for a couple of reasons. There's talent across the board. There's great coaches and historic programs. The amount of NBA players, the amount of McDonald's All-Americans that have come from this league is second to none. And then it's innovative, right? The rules, the game day experience, the places that we travel to play at. and just the mental and physical test for being in the grind session, right? It is a grind. The places that you travel to, the level of competition, the physicality on a day-to-day basis is a different level for this level of high school basketball.
For the next game, and he certainly was there. Oh, Dillingham counted and put him on the line.
Finals MVP.
Murray, 2-point shot. That's good. For Jamal Murray, what a shot. Put it up, step back, three-pointer. It's good. Jamal Murray from way downtown. Up above the rim. Avia lead pass. D.A. the two-hand jab.
Our league is a mosaic of talent. From November to April, our teams travel across some of the world's most unique cities and countries, competing in over 400 action-packed games, fostering the next generation of basketball stars. With captivating stories and engaging posts, we connect with millions of followers, inspiring them with every dribble, every shot, every victory.
Session, the toughest competition every night.
Here, Coach Brian from high school, Kenyon Johnson is just cooking in that first half. I thought he was doing a great job putting pressure on the rim, but took the words out of my mouth to the broadcast. You got to find some scoring somewhere else. And I know Gray Bear's getting man-drilled. Baker could possibly pick it up. Was that the message going into the second half?
I think the message was more so just execute possessions offensively and defensively. We had some mishaps in our pick-and-roll defense. I feel like the game was a 6-point game at the end. We could have cut it to 5 and it ended up being 10. So we clean up those things, we'll have a chance.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you in the second half. Back to you guys at the grind session.
All right, appreciate you, Coach. And first half numbers, Fort Erie 15 of 27 from the field, 5 of 12 from 3. And iSchool 12 of 27 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. And so really, I mean, iSchool, look, 12 of 27 as a team, that is not bad at all. So, I mean, they're right there. Promise and Landu leads the way for Fort Erie with 13 points. Ailey Jolene with 8 points. And for iSchool, it's been all Caden Johnson. Caden Johnson with 16 points on 7 of 11 shooting. He's made both of his 3 attempts. And we're set to go here in the second half. iSchool will have first possession.
iSchool, he inbounds the ball as we start this second half.
They'll be looking to get Keontae Graybear going. Graybear, he's only shot 6, or had 6 shot attempts. I mean, and he's a high-volume shooter, so that's not a lot for him.
No, Fort Erie's done a good job of like right here, look, they are swarming him. A great pass. That's what they got to do. They got to execute more in the half court like that, Cullen.
Beautiful pass, good screen from Banks to free up Graybear, and then he gets rewarded.
Yeah, they just got to execute in the half court, Cullen. I mean, it's just, like Coach said, they got to run their stuff. And
possession at a time. One possession at a time.
Absolutely.
And Landu has been smooth.
Let's go.
Misses that one. Baker with the board. Baker on the run. Baker all the way to the rim. Tipped around, and Jolene secures the rebound. And Landu will take a screen from guard. And Landu gets a clean look. It's rebounded by Graybear. He's fouled from behind by Jolene.
Hey, Caden, you're playing. Stop talking. You're playing behind him. You have to be on the side.
That is on number 2, Jolene.
That big win late.
Little pressure here from Fort Erie. Handled by iSchool. Gray Bear, that mid-range jumper again. That one bounces out.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job of getting into the soft spot of that token pressure. He just didn't fall.
Yeah, that's a few looks from that elbow the Gray Bears had. Unable to make yet. Jolene drives it back out to Landu. His three. Engor comes up with the loose ball. Jolene misfires.
Got to have a little more patience if I'm Fort Erie right now. You know, I like looking for a rhythm three off offensive rebound, especially if you're in rhythm, but those look like they were hunted a little bit.
Kind of token pressure once again from Fort Erie. Gray Bear catches in the middle again. Another clean look, unable to make. Jolene with the long rebound. Engor, open look. And Jolene with another offensive rebound. Engor passed up the three that time, but it's fouled on the drive.
Yeah, Fort Erie's just being a little bit more disciplined offensively right now, Cullen. They're trying to run their stuff and go through their reads, you know.
Johnson knocks that one away.
That's a matchup I like to see is Johnson and Jolene.
A lot tougher spot here to inbound. They're in that deep corner. Deep baseline corner. Oh, great cut.
Great cut.
Oh, great setup by Landu. It's almost like a receiver beating you off the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
That was a great slip right there to the rim.
Cullen, this is the best I've seen him play.
No, he's been smooth. Everything is in rhythm. 15 already for Landu.
Oh, that's
Johnson.
tough.
That's, you know, he's as good at those shots as any. Is pounding that ball, getting a legal push off, and those mid-range shots.
That's
Very
what I
consistent.
talked about after the first quarter. He does a great job of, you got to respect him, number one, because he's so quick off the bounce.
Yeah.
But if he can shoot it just at a little bit higher level from three, Cullen, he is in extremely difficult cover, like you said, because he gets to that spot.
And he knows how to use the body as well.
Yeah, it's got wide shoulders.
Very physical.
Reminds me of Rod Strickland, kind of.
Great block by Burry.
You know, Rod Strickland had those wide shoulders, and he would just get that shoulder into you, and you couldn't get around him.
Rondo was that way,
yep.
too.
Had
Rondo
wide shoulders, yeah.
Really broad shoulders.
Oh, good slip.
Oh, but Johnson
good block.
Recovers with the block. Johnson with momentum to the rim, no good. Engor with the rebound. He'll advance to Ponga. Ponga and Landu lays it in. Great break right there. The ball hardly touches the floor. And then Landu with another bucket. He's got 17.
Yeah, Fort Erie is one of the best teams in transition that always get a good bucket, especially off a live ball miss or turnover.
They're a great passing team.
Yes.
That's one of their calling cards.
Shot clock down to 5. Gray Bear, who's kind of nursing that ankle, getting it over to Johnson. Long three, hits the front of the rim, and offensive rebound to stay with iSchool.
But
Banks. That short jumper won't go.
Shows you it's a smart shot from Johnson, though. I know he misses, but it at least gives your team a chance for an offensive rebound, which they got.
High-low look, yep.
That's a great pass. And again, I'm not expecting that from crew guard. That's a great assist right there by the big with an accurate pass.
There's Baker, mid-range pull-up. That comes up short.
Credit Pongo. He may have gotten a piece of that, but good contest regardless.
And Crew inside, keeping that ball high, being strong with it, and a throw down right there by Crew guard.
I tell you what, the chemistry with Fort Erie in this second half. The passing has been crisp. Everything has been sharp.
Can Crew get an offer, though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Will the real scouts please stand up?
I mean, he's 6'11", can pass it, can score with either hand in the post. Always wins the collision and ball screens.
Well, the thing is, he's got the stuff you can't teach, obviously,
Yep.
the size, but he's going to come in and do whatever you tell him to do. He's just a player that's going to do what his coach asks.
Cullen, your Cats are on a run. They got it to 6.
Oh, gosh.
Don't hold your breath, man.
I'm trying to manage my anxiety today. I'm trying to. I don't want to look.
Foul is on number 9, Pierre Charles Yimga. At the line for 2 is Terrence Burry.
Burry, his first free throw is good.
In the game for iSchool number 0, Jordan Goodman.
But once again, outside of Caden Johnson, Quincy Baker's got 4 and Gray Bear's got 6, 10 points.
Right.
Like, you're not going to beat this team if you can't find somebody that can give you some double-digit scoring.
I agree.
As Dan Hudson used to say when he used to get 20 a game, my back's hurting. I need some help.
20 points in the season. Mid-range pull-up. How they thought about it. With 5 to go here on the shot clock, the Falcons in control. High-low look. Akuntuk fighting off the traffic and loses the ball in the process. Johnson coming back the other way.
Well, Johnson got away with a foul. He was fouling Akuntuk down there. They just – a great job by Burry. Again, he's that guy for him. He gets those kind of buckets like you just saw. But great defense on Gray Bear again. They're making him – they're forcing him into tough twos all game long.
Kuntuk, they screen in that zone.
Got to dunk that ball.
Yeah.
I think that's what Coach Kemi just said. Dunk that.
I love Kenny, man. He
does a good job.
He's been around for a while and great guy.
Ooh. Nobody had the angle to get to it.
Good pass. To me, that's the next step in Caden's game. He's got to get a little bit better. You know, he's got to work on really getting that rhythm dribble and pounding the basketball to get into the shot. And AJ knows where I'm coming from, being a trainer. You know, when you're trying to get it off a rhythm dribble, it's got to be a pound into your pocket. You know, too many kids, it's a soft dribble.
Listen, I've taken the page from Brian Bernardi here lately in my workouts. If the first dribble is not hard, we're starting all over. Stretches and running, the sprint and everything we do before we get to that. Just take it from the beginning.
Yep.
We're not ready.
Yep. But think about the standard that he's created there. That's why they've been good for so many years.
That's a good point, too, though, Coach. I mean, part of what you're saying is, you know, you take so many shots and reps so that you can get to that shooting pocket as quick as possible without hurrying, obviously. You want a quick release. You want to be able to shoot over the contest.
Well, I used to tell my godson, you want game speed reps.
Right.
I said, because if you get in a game and then I'm trying to do something that my habits I'm not normal with, I'm going to turn the ball over. I'm not going to score.
Yep.
There you go. Run some offense. There you go.
You know, I see guys take shots all the time, and I'm not opposed to kids getting up reps on a shooting machine if they're by themselves, so on and so forth. If I'm working and we're working on shooting and things of that nature, I call some of the things I do, I like to have, like, if I got an hour workout, 40 to 45 minutes of it, concept workouts, things that translate to the game. So let's just say if we're simply shooting threes with a kid, I'm going to have him sprint from half court in the transition into a three, sprint from half court to whether it's to the slot, whether it's to the wing, whether it's to the corner. Going to make sure their footwork is right before they catch it. Make sure they're in the low position before the ball hits their hands. All the things that make you a consistent shooter are things that you do before the ball even touches your hands.
Shot ready.
Absolutely.
Being comfortable while being uncomfortable.
And part of that's getting your legs to feel like they do in a game as well.
Yep. Everything from taking handoffs on DHOs, everything from coming off pin downs, from spot-up shooting, from running from a sprint to a slide to get your toes matched up like
Absolutely.
Coach like to talk about in the quarter. No shot is created equal. Coming off a screen, a pin down is completely different than coming off the bounce or a flare or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, I can sit there and rebound and pass it to you all day long, but how much is that going to translate?
Right. Absolutely.
I hate two-line layups. I'll be honest with you
Oh,
guys.
I'm right there with you.
It's my pet peeve. 95% of teams do it, and it never happens in a game.
Well, and think about this too. You know, I think about this when I go and shoot myself, just as far as just shooting around. But you know, we all like what you're talking about. Is I can get out there and feed you shots all day. Well, how many of your shots in the game come from inside out? Not a whole lot anymore. It's mainly around the horn. It's from the wing. It's from the top.
Yep.
You know, where it's getting your shoulders square and that type of thing is different.
No doubt about it.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
And it was a three.
Are you kidding me?
When Jolene is moving backwards, he has the best balance on his shot. Well, a lot of guys, when you're moving backwards, you can really get balance and get your feet underneath you, but he does that as well as anybody.
He's got long arms, too. They don't realize how lengthy he is. It's hard to contest that shot.
Yep.
And Johnson's going to pick up a charge there, and listen, Fort Erie trying to start to pull away.
Well, it kind of feels that play right there just kind of reminded me like Fort Erie starting to do Fort Erie things. Like they're starting to build their ways of winning the game. It's 17 now. They take a charge, you know, making game-winning plays throughout the game.
Again, the top-seeded team so far here in these first couple of games looking like top-seeded teams. Flutter, no good there. Put back, no good. Blew through some contact, let them play. And we're going to get jump ball here. All right, a travel, okay?
This ref was going to call jump ball for sure. Yeah, they had two different calls that time.
I don't know who is this celebrity that pulled up on you, you know. They got guys like that on the news behind you. He's been signing autographs all day. That's why we're just now seeing him. Been signing autographs all day. Jolene.
Short.
57-40 is our score here after three. And again, Fort Erie starting to pull things away here.
3/4 is Fort Erie 57. iSchool 4-0.
All right, guys, we were just talking about getting a pound dribble and getting into your shot. So meaning what we're talking about is getting into a rhythm dribble right before you're ready to pull. So if we're trying to create a little bit of space to get our shot off a rhythm dribble, the drill I used to like to do is we just put it in one hand. So we just zigzag it and we pound it and then we get into our shot. But a lot of kids, what they do is this dribble's soft, and when they pound it to go, the defense can get it. So what we're talking about is that first dribble has got to be a pound dribble. So if I'm here and I pound it, and then I'm getting to my shot. So same thing in the left hand. So boom, boom, I pound it, and I get to my shot. So when they're trying to attack off the bounce, if the dribble is not hard and it's soft, it's easy for the defense to react and get back to it. So when I used to scout guys, I used to tell them, look, when they get into their pound dribble, if it is a soft dribble, try to count it and then try to steal it as they're going to dribble it. But if I'm constantly pounding it right before I get into my rhythm dribble, it is very hard for you to gauge when you can try to steal it. So just being a little bit better at the little stuff will help you create a little bit of space, but also get that pound dribble to get it in your pocket to get a shot off whenever you're trying to create. Back to you guys at the grind session.
That's something we can talk about too, Coach. Think about that. Like, think about how many players, period, are comfortable with shooting off the dribble, off that pound dribble. That you don't see a lot of guys that are. Most guys are catch and shoot. Most guys are coming off a screen, off a curl, whatever it may be. not a lot of guys can go get their own shot. Like we think about like a Darren Peterson, like he does last year, how he's elite at that. That's why he'll be the #1 pick or #2 pick, because he can score like that. Not a lot of guys can.
57-40.
A.J. DeBonta is another one, obviously, that scores off the dribble.
I thought they missed Banks there on the back door.
Did.
Shot clock down to 5. Defense has been solid here for Fort Erie. Johnson can't get that one to go as promised. Landu gets it into the front court here for the Falcons.
If you notice on the last contest from Ngor, it wasn't it's just calm, smooth. I get a hand up, and that's it. I don't have to get in your landing area. I get to the side. No fouls. It's one of those things. It's not that difficult.
Oh.
That's nasty.
Change of pace. One in that angle. Very clean look. Probably the most clean look he's had all night right there.
And Landu has been in a special rhythm all game long. He's a special kind of player. And this has been just one of those nights, one of his games, in control.
Yeah, he's got 19.
Oh, great
Good
block
block there.
behind.
Yeah, Johnson, give him credit for that one. Top of the key, 3. Banks with the rebound. Here comes Baker. Baker's been somewhat quiet here in this one. Johnson kind of caught in the air in no man's land.
Hey!
And a pull for 3, knocked down there.
A really good job by Landu of avoiding a travel right there. Could have easily been called if he gets his feet mixed up. And Aliabukas, he's just another one of those guys for Fort Erie that can sub into the game and make shots directly off the bench.
So we got a 30-second timeout taken here. Our next game coming up is BV Academy taking on Anthem Prep. 2 teams familiar with each other, 2 coaches familiar with each other that had a great battle in Los Angeles that went into overtime. So don't let those numbers on the side of the team's name fool you. Anybody's capable of winning that game, no doubt about that.
That is a very interesting game because when you think about Anthem Prep, they've got size. They've got a lot of size.
Yep.
So they've got guys that can compete.
Very athletic.
Yeah, anytime a team comes in athletic and with size, that can be a very dangerous matchup.
Cats lost by 8, Cullen. Put up a good fight, though.
I mean,
I won my parlay then. No, I'm just kidding.
What was the spread on that game?
I want to say.
Probably, if I had to guess, I'm guessing. I want to say 11.
I wanted to say 10.5 is what it was.
I'll find out. Give me a second. I'll find out.
10.5, 12.5, something like that.
Moral victory.
Right.
And another turnover here right out of a timeout. Now what you want to see?
Out of bounds to Fort Erie.
Yeah, it was 10.5. Florida covers.
64-40. How about Fort Erie just giving up 40 points to this point?
Yep.
At this point of the game.
Well, I've liked their game plan. We're just going to man drill Gray Bear. We're going to make somebody else beat us. You know, I mean, Johnson's having a great game, but nobody else has picked up the slack.
You know, and teams that are going to hurt Fort Erie are teams with a lot of size. Teams that can pound it in low, down low. And if you don't have that kind of size, Fort Erie is going to match up well against you.
Yeah.
Foul is on number 1, Aiden McClinton. Out of bounds to Fort Erie. In the game for iSchool number 4, Quincy Baker.
So baseline out here for Fort Erie. Inbounded to Crew here. Spacing issues on that set. Whatever that was, I'm not putting that in my bag, Coach. I'm sorry. No, for some reason, I don't feel like that went the way he drew it up.
Foul is on number 14, Rowan Lopez.
I can't tell you how many ideas and plays and sets. I've always been more of a developer in my basketball coaching career than an X's and O's guy, but these coaches, man, have made me more, have helped me become more of an X's and O's guy when I get to doing my thing in the summer.
You got to be at this level.
I tell people you've got to have a little bit of both. You got to be able to coach Jimmy and Joe's, but then also you got to be able to draw something up or run something that the kid buys into that fits what they do. You know,
that's right.
Like Prolific, they do a great job of posting Bruce Branch III and Caleb Holt. They run a lot of stuff to isolate them at the elbow and the block.
Yeah.
Is it complicated to scout? No.
Right.
But it's extremely hard to guard if you've not taught how to guard post defense, and we see it all the time. 90% of the kids in our league don't know how to guard in the post. So they're playing from behind. They're letting Caleb Holt and Bruce Branch III catch it right there. Yeah. Of course, who's going to win that battle every time? So being, you know, it's like, all right, where are our strengths at and where can we expose the other team? You know, and they do a better job of it.
Yep. Knocked down, it's a 2, long 2, foot on the line there.
Cullen, they didn't cover. They only won by 8 if they were a 10-point favorite. So if you took Kentucky in the points.
I thought they won by 12.
Won by 8.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Yeah.
Good thing Cullen's not our bookie.
I don't want to talk about a team that loses, so let's talk about something else.
I will say this. I was looking forward to watching DeBanza last night against Houston because, you know, him coming off that 40-point game and the respect that he got from Sampson early on, like, you could tell, like, the game plan was like, we got to try to – he's going to get his, but we got to try to make it difficult.
He still got his.
Still got his, yes.
26, I think, last night, I believe.
So my question, just to change the narrative of the conversation here a little bit, and I'll start with Coach Gaywood over here. Forget NIL, forget all that stuff. When you're recruiting, let's say at a Power 5 level or mid-major level, when you're looking at these guys, what are some of the things you're trying to check on when you're checking off boxes here?
Well, let's talk about UK and U of L. U of L yesterday gets beat. Michael Brand doesn't play. They struggle the whole game of finding a guy outside Ryan Cornwell that can get into the paint and play. So like me, I've always said, I always like 2 guys. And it ain't got to be 2 points, but I always like having at least 2 guys that I know that can put their head down and they're going to get 2 feet in the paint. Not necessarily we're going to score every time, AJ, but 2 guys that know how to play in space but can always put pressure on the rim. I see these schools recruiting kids, Kentucky, for instance, then no knock to what they got. They got 1 guy that can constantly get 2 feet in the paint. Oh, wait. There's not really another guy that you can give it to, AJ, and be like, all right, we're going to run this, and we have got to get pressure on the rim and find somebody. So it kind of blows my mind away that, number 1, you ain't got 2 guys that can go get you a bucket or get 2 feet in the paint. Number 3, having somebody you can throw it down there to every now and then. Let's create a switch. Let's have somebody that can play in the post. It ain't got to be a 6'10" or a footer, but it's got to be somebody like the kid at Missouri the game before. I mean, he had 28 points against Kentucky, and they were all, you know, within 15 feet of the basket.
I think he had 32.
Oh, yeah. No, at 32. So what I'm getting at is
Mitchell from
why
Missouri.
are you're going off these analytics, but then you're completely throwing the eye test away.
Mike.
Yes, the analytics might not be there, but if he's constantly getting 2 feet in the paint and he's finding guys, or a guy is attracting a lot of defense and he might not be scoring, I don't understand why they don't recruit that way more. And my thing is, yeah, you can bring all these NBA guys in at the end of the day, but it ain't going to sell tickets to get portal guys. Me and you guys know that. What's going to sell tickets is having Tyron Stokes in the game, or Darren Peterson, or AJ DeBanza. It's that simple.
No doubt about it.
Caleb Holt.
Yes. Bruce Branch III. You don't think BYU is going to sell out next year?
Right.
In Arizona? Like, what are we doing?
You know, you mentioned analytics. I'm an anti-analytics guy. I can't buy into it. There's just no way somebody can tell me if I have a guard that shoots 90% from the free throw line that is not wise for him to pull up from 12 feet. Just makes when there's the least amount of defense played in those areas doesn't make sense to me.
It's got its pros and its cons because I
Yeah,
tell people
it's called Murray State basketball.
I tell
because they completely sold into don't take a mid-range shot at the rim or at the three. And guess what? Your legs are not there come late February and March to shoot 43s in a game.
Okay, you train, right?
Yep.
If a kid's in drop coverage or an ice, what do you want your point guard to be able to do? Come off of it, get to that 15-foot, and make a read and be able to make that shot. That's where your elite scorers separate themselves in the NBA.
Ooh.
So I just don't understand why more teams don't go to that.
Now, I'm not saying no one has ever won a championship with following those analytics, but name me somebody who's had long-term success. I know it's popular and exciting to the scoreboard, but everybody talks about D'Antoni coming up with this system, but he never won the championship. Wasn't there. Every team that wins a championship,
other than Steph and them.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, but that's more. It's not sticking. We're going to spread you out, and it's constantly moving. Where D'Antoni was more, it's ball screen, 3 or 2, 3 or 2. But what I'm going to get at, I'm going to go old school with you. People still think that Jordan wouldn't play in today's game. Okay, you give Mike the mid range. That's what the NBA wants, right? He's scoring 40 a game, and then you can't even blow on him.
The person who's closest to it that takes advantage of that is SGA.
Yes. So it's like if you don't think he could play in today's game and you want to give that up, but it's more, let's find a more well-rounded, but like I always go back to, all right, Kentucky, they like to play inside out. They like bigs to be able to make reads. Why are you not recruiting more to that? You see where I'm getting at?
I'm thinking of throwing it into Brandon Garrison, and that's just comical to me.
But look at the year
there ain't
before.
No inside out there.
Look at his first year there. Look at the bigs
with
he had.
Williams.
Yes. I mean, it makes no sense.
Yep. He was perfect for that.
Yes. And that's why they had success. But look at Florida. They recruit to what they want. They want guards that can shoot it and play off the bounce, but also bigs that can make plays and reads.
Man, Johnson has fouled Ngor about 5 times. And that's the result you get. Now they want to get after each other because they let Johnson foul him 6 times.
Yeah.
He's going to review it.
You know, back to the Jordan discussion, something that always bothers me about that too. Mm-hmm. Give Michael Jordan 3 or 4 steps like they give today's game. And tell me that you're going to stop. Jordan didn't break the rules. Jordan didn't LeBron it and have them adapt the rules for you. Jordan was 1-2.
Whoa, put some respect on LeBron. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm just saying that
LeBron's an all-time great.
Okay, think about this,
don't
though.
Get me wrong.
You give Jordan today's technology with weight, food. Come on, guys.
3-4 steps.
Yes. Like is there certain guys that played in that era or before then that would struggle with athleticism? Yes. But I'll tell you this, how many people in today's game would struggle if they would literally let you bump them like you want to get bumped? Right. Like they did back then.
This sounds like the Get Off My Lawn podcast right now.
Yes.
I just made that up, but man, you guys sound like 2 old grumpy guys. Kind of lighten the mood here a little bit.
Oh, no, we're not grumpy. We're just speaking facts.
I mean, Kentucky has put Cullen in a foul mood, man. Please don't walk on his grass this summer at all, please.
Well, the problem I have is these coaches are making an ungodly amount of money, and I don't feel sorry for them.
Right.
Because when you're making this type of money, there's an expectation. So, meaning you got to produce. So, quit coming up with these excuses and just get the job done. But then when you get fired, you want to, petty. We live in a society today. It's just soft and, man, it's an excuse society. Well, this happened. No, just do your job and get it done at the end of the day.
All right, we're gonna have some. We're taking some look on some extracurricular activity here after the whistle was blown.
And then my guy Dan Hudson just talked about one of my favorite coaches of all time.
Mm-hmm. Who's that?
Coach Pitino.
Oh, that's all right.
That guy gets it done.
67, 51, 3:08 to go here in this ball game. Chris, back that up. I like to see what actually happened here. We're frozen in time here.
He felt like Ngor kind of extended.
Back it up some more. Some more. Even before all that extra. All right, we should be able to move on. That's pretty quick. Our next game is going to be BV Academy Anthem Prep as well.
Hey, coach, just keep your guys right there in front of your bench while we're done, just so nothing stupid happens.
But more back to what you said, AJ.
Yeah.
I think you should teach the mid-range shot.
Yep.
You should teach catch and shoot. You should be able to try to all three levels.
So my whole point of even mentioning the conversation was it seems like even at the Division I level, wherever, it seems like there becomes this popular trend that some non-basketball person or somebody had limited success with because maybe it worked for their roster. And it becomes this new popular thing.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's just like everybody hops on it when they do it sometimes where it doesn't make sense for the team that they have or the culture that they have or, it's just, I don't know, man. I'm a common sense guy. I always coach and say I live in the real world, when I'm teaching kids. So it's just.
It's one of those when you say it out loud, it just sounds silly. Like, no, I don't want you to take this wide open mid-range shot. That sounds ridiculous. We're talking about Patino. Patino was don't have your foot on the three-point line and shoot it, but otherwise you're fine.
Fort Erie.
Yep, supposed to be. Yes, sir. Good. Go. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Okay. So it'll be red ball underneath. 13 on the shot. Pointer interrupted. So it'll be red on the top.
At the line for the technical foul is number 5, Kate Johnson, 2.
Oh, me.
So 0 for 2 after that 20-minute look at that replay.
Shot clock will be at 13. Red this way.
For Erie will now inbound the ball.
They cutting into my lunch break here. These refs didn't realize that, man. 3 minutes to go here in this ball game. 2 seconds on the shot clock. And that'd be a shot clock violation there, and we'll go the other way.
It's a good no call as well.
Yes, very good no call.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't going to fool Josh too many times.
Nah, man, that's a vet right there. It's a vet.
I talk with Josh a lot, man. I tell him, or we had just talked about it previously, that sometimes the best calls are no calls.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about that a lot as well.
A guy like Josh at number 33, the ref going up the court here on the sideline. This is what he does.
Dude,
period, for a living. He doesn't have any other source of
I was going to say this.
He's from your way, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say this is perfect for Josh.
Yes,
matter of fact.
absolutely.
Maybe we should need to hire him full time next year.
Should.
He would be open to it.
Gonna make me jealous though.
Well, we got to be careful because he's my signer for my winter league stuff that I do.
Don't want him to be too
he's
busy.
my guy, yeah.
Well, just looking off what kind of shoes he's wearing, I know he's got some brains to him. Because those are the most comfortable shoes around.
I've been in Kentucky for 23 years, and one of the first people I seen ref was him. So I know he's been doing it at least that long.
He was in McCracken, right?
Yeah,
he did a really good job there.
Yep.
Josh and I, we about had to fight our way out of some gyms before on some weekends.
Now listen, Josh has matured a lot. He used to have a little swagger about him. He used to have that richer swag about him back in the day, reffing.
He had a little rabbit ears.
Hey, it was knuck if you buck.
Yeah.
About 10, 15 years ago, and everything.
He's
kind of grown out of that,
From around the way, we can do it.
That's right. But that's the cool part about this. We've seen it in our league with our coaches, the maturity of some of our coaches and how they have advanced with their sets and the maturity and how they communicate with referees and so on and so forth. So, again, the development is just not with the players when it comes to this league.
Well, it's like, last week we had that conversation. Are we going to referee or are we going to coach?
That's right. I wish a player of mine would talk to a referee. That comes sit so quick.
You can tell iSchool kind of getting overly aggressive here. But,
trying to make something happen.
Yeah,
They're only down 12.
I was going to say, they kind of feel something here. They're
Yeah.
only down 12, a couple minutes to go.
And they feel like Fort Erie's relaxed a little bit.
Right.
Again, there's going to be plenty of possessions with this 24-second shot clock. They can string together a couple stops here. And there's another turnover, and, you got to take care of that one.
Yeah. Can't give it right back. Especially when you get it to 12.
And it's a fresh 24.
Yeah.
$67-55.
And they almost get another steal.
And that's out of bounds there.
Out of bounds to iSchool. In the game for iSchool is number 4, Quincy Baker.
Way to play off 2 feet, Bird.
If I'm Kentucky Wesleyan or high-level JUCOs, because he's undersized big, he's perfect.
Yep.
I give Kentucky Wesleyan coach benefit of the doubt. Listen, we've been nearby. He has lived in the gym here. No doubt about it.
You could pick
he
up
ain't gonna miss it. He won't miss a game the whole weekend.
No, Joe is as good as they come, man.
You could pick up a whole team off the grind session
Yes.
for Kentucky Wesleyan. You kidding me?
And go do damage.
Yes.
Big time damage.
No doubt. Good pass.
All right, we're going to get a timeout called here by iSchool as they get within 8. Get it down to single digits here.
Got another good game here on college basketball slate. Tennessee and Vandy. Good. That's a little small-town rivalry.
No doubt. Tell you what, the guard there for Vanderbilt, Tanner, we had him on the grind session out of Memphis. He went to Brentwood, but they played in some events. Actually, for a couple years straight, we got a chance to see him in the Memphis event.
He's a Memphis kid?
No. So he went to Brentwood in Nashville.
Nashville, okay, that's
but
right.
the
that's
events
right.
that they played in was our Memphis event.
That's where Darius Garland went, okay.
And I thought he was a little small, but, man, when you watch him play, don't matter. Like, he plays with so much heart, so much fire. Certain guys, man, they delete that deficiency just because of the way they approach the game.
He's on a lot of draft boards, too.
Absolutely. And I don't know what they have him listed at. If they say 6'3", they're lying because he's not that tall.
How tall is he?
I would probably say, 6 foot, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
his first step is lethal.
Unreal. And this big around.
Oof.
But, man,
you
love
talk
to see
about a
stories competitor.
like that, yeah.
That reminds me of like Trey Pearson back in the day from Murray State. I don't know if you remember him.
Yep. Trey was
He was
really good.
Wiry. Started off at Ole Miss. Then went to Murray State.
Who was the other really good point guard, the lefty that's been in the league for a while?
Payne.
Payne.
Payne,
yeah.
Ooh-wee.
They went on a streak there with some really good guards.
You talking about
outside of the obvious John Moran, but
he was a Memphis kid, wasn't he?
Isaiah Kennedy even before him.
I forgot about Isaiah Kennedy.
They went
Cannon.
Yeah,
Isaiah
Cannon.
Cannon.
They won 30 games at one point that year.
Yeah, Steve Prom You know, I mean, he had that thing rolling.
Shoot, Aubrey Reese, remember that? I mean,
Yeah.
that's way back in the day.
Ironically, I just talked to Steve a couple weeks ago. He's still in Murray. Family lives there. Kids still go to the school out there. So he's just,
count money.
That's it. Literally, that's it. All right, 67-59 is going to be moving on here for Fort Erie as they advance to the next part of this bracket. For them, their next possible matchup will be DME Academy or Balboa. That game, they'll know after their matchup tomorrow. DME and Balboa play at 6:45 tomorrow. Our next game coming up here will be BV Academy taking on Anthem Prep. It'll be a 3:15 Central Time start here as we get a interview with the player of the game coming up. It's going to be Promise and Landu, who was very good here in this one. And we'll send it over to Richard as he's with the player of the game and the team that advances, Fort Erie. Richard, what you got?
All right, here with the player of the game, my guy Promise and Landu. My guy, you were cooking earlier. That's how you feeling today?
Yeah, that's how we're feeling. We just came off a championship, so we wanna prove that we can make history.
Well, I was loving how you were playing because I thought you were putting a lot of pressure on the rim. And what happens is a lot of times, as a point guard, when I'm putting pressure on the rim, not necessarily I'm going to score, but I'm going to open it up for everybody else. Is that your mindset when you're trying to get downhill?
Yeah, if they don't close, I'm just gonna score. But if they close, I'm just gonna pass the ball.
And then Coach told me, you'd even make first team All-Canada. And I, you know what I told him? I said, I want to see who they got in front of you because I would be wanting that smoke with you. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, it brings some energy in me. It's like I know I can be first team All-Star, so I just come and prove it.
Well, good luck to you guys the rest of the way. Keep your head up, and good luck tomorrow. Play of the game, Promise and Landu, back to you guys.